Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving straight into volume 94 of the profoundly beautiful Mahaprajna Paramita Sastra. This ancient text is an absolute masterpiece of Mahayana Buddhist philosophy, and what we're going to uncover together today is literally the ultimate framework for boundless, burnout-free compassion. If you've ever felt totally exhausted by trying to help others, well, the insights we're about to explore are going to completely change how you view your actions. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The trap of doing good. 2. The true meaning of emptiness. 3. A bodhisattva's compassionate superpowers. 4. Bodhisattvas versus the Buddha. And finally, 5. The ultimate truth of emptiness. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. The trap of doing good. Have you ever wondered why doing good can actually sometimes cause us suffering? I mean, think about it. Acts of charity and kindness are supposed to feel amazing, right? But let's be honest, how often do we secretly get kind of annoyed when someone doesn't say thank you? So often, our good deeds just leave us feeling totally exhausted, unappreciated, frustrated, or even resentful. And the source text actually tackles this head-on, looking at the hidden strings we tend to attach to our good deeds. The text breaks this down by contrasting two distinct approaches. First up, we've got attached charity. This happens when we do good deeds, but we're still attached to our own ego, our wealth, or the outcome. We're subconsciously expecting gratitude or maybe some cosmic reward. And when those don't pan out, it's incredibly easy to get resentful. But then, on the flip side, there's empty charity. This is done completely without those attachments. It's a totally free act that actually leads to ultimate liberation and boundless energy rather than draining us dry. There's this brilliantly startling metaphor in the text to illustrate this. Giving with a self-centered, attached heart is like delicious food mixed with poison. Though there is a sweet benefit, one loses their life. It might look wonderful on the outside. You are helping someone after all. And sure, there's a temporary sweet benefit to your ego, but underneath it all, the attachment is toxic. It ultimately poisons your spiritual well-being and just traps you further in this endless cycle of frustration. Which brings us to section 2. The true meaning of emptiness. Okay, so if attachment is the poison, what exactly is the cure? The text introduces a massive paradigm shift here with shunyata, or emptiness. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but in this context, emptiness is absolutely not some depressing void or cold nihilism. Far from it. It's actually the state of understanding that the giver, the receiver, and the gift itself have no fixed, permanent nature. They're just temporary, interconnected phenomena. This is absolutely crucial because it's the ultimate liberating mindset. It allows you to help others profoundly without getting your ego all tangled up in the transaction. And the thing is, understanding emptiness isn't supposed to make you passive. Armed with this realization, a practitioner starts using skillful means, or upaya. Because you're no longer rigidly attached to your specific way of helping, you gain this profound ability to adapt your actions perfectly to the specific needs of whoever you're trying to help. You're basically turning abstract philosophy into incredibly effective, targeted action. Moving on to section 3, a bodhisattva's compassionate superpowers. When you combine that deep understanding of emptiness with skillful means, it unlocks what the text literally describes as a bodhisattva's compassionate superpowers. I absolutely love this gorgeous analogy. Like a bird without wings cannot soar high, a bodhisattva without superpowers cannot randomly teach and transform sentient beings. It perfectly emphasizes that good intentions just aren't enough. A bodhisattva has to develop profound perceptive abilities to truly be of service. Otherwise, their attempts to help are just blind guesswork. So what exactly are these wings? Well, the text lists out these incredible abilities. The heavenly eye to see across all realms, the heavenly ear to hear teachings everywhere, mind reading to know beings' thoughts, and knowledge of past lives to understand karmic roots. Now, don't just think of these as some cool magic tricks. In the Sastra, these serve as the absolute ultimate forms of empathy. They allow the bodhisattva to look at you, know exactly where your pain comes from without any judgment, and know exactly what you need to hear. With these abilities, the bodhisattva essentially acts like a master spiritual physician. They can instantly diagnose the root of someone's suffering. If a person is trapped in greed and stinginess, boom, they apply teachings on charity. If they're burning with anger and conflict, the antidote is compassion. Lost in ignorance and delusion, they get the complex philosophy of the 12 links of dependent origination. It is perfectly customized spiritual care. Of course, achieving this level of mastery takes some serious, unimaginable dedication. The text lays out a super clear, structured progression. First, practice the 6 paramitas, which are perfections like extreme patience and joyous effort. Then, attain profound states of concentration, like the Diamond Samadhi. Third, achieve supreme enlightenment. And finally, step 4, fearlessly help all sentient beings, perfectly pulling them out of the muck of suffering.
Section 4. Bodhisattvas versus the Buddha.
Now, as unbelievably powerful and compassionate as a bodhisattva is, the source text draws a really vital and beautiful distinction between them and a fully realized Buddha. It likens a bodhisattva to the 14th day moon, the day right before it's completely full. It's brilliant, beautiful, and pure, but it still lacks that absolute fullness required to actually move the ocean's tides. A Buddha, however, is the 15th day moon, completely full, radiant, and possessing the unparalleled power to shift the entire ocean of sentient beings toward liberation. So what exactly makes the Buddha that 15th day moon? The text calls it this ultimate, unhindered wisdom of all kinds. See, while a bodhisattva is highly advanced, a Buddha has eliminated every single microscopic trace of habitual illusion. This grants them flawless, instantaneous understanding of all reality in a single moment of thought. No obscuring darkness, no hesitation whatsoever.
And obviously, this transformation doesn't happen overnight. The text contextualizes this over immense, staggering periods of time, eons. From the first eon of initiating the intention or bodhicitta, through endless middle eons of practicing the paramitas and emptiness, all the way to the final eon of attaining supreme, perfect enlightenment. This evolutionary timeline is what transforms a seeker into the ultimate, unshakable sanctuary for all life.
And that brings us to Section 5, the ultimate truth of emptiness. We've reached the absolute pinnacle of our explainer today. Everything we've discussed so far leads us to a philosophical twist that basically upends absolutely everything. We naturally assume that foundational teachings, like the Four Noble Truths, are the bedrock of ultimate reality. But the Sastra asks a really startling question. Did the Buddha actually use the Four Noble Truths to achieve ultimate liberation? The answer it gives is a paradigm-shattering no. The text states that the Four Noble Truths are simply medicine for the disease of suffering. But ultimate reality, true enlightenment, is the realization of the total emptiness of both the disease and the medicine. It's wild, right? The mind-bending conclusion here is that even sacred doctrines are ultimately empty. They're basically just a raft. And once you use a raft to cross a river, you don't carry the raft on your back for the rest of the journey.
There's this quote that hits the nail on the head. If there is no suffering, no knowledge of suffering. This is called the equality of the Four Noble Truths, which is nirvana. True spiritual equality isn't about perfectly hoarding and grasping spiritual concepts. It's about letting go of the attachment to all concepts entirely. When the disease of illusion is finally gone, clinging to the medicine of doctrine is just another form of attachment.
So let's tie this all together. All phenomena, even the concept of enlightenment itself, are empty of a fixed self. True wisdom doesn't destroy reality, it just reveals its ungraspable nature. And here's the real magic. Realizing the emptiness of all things doesn't make a bodhisattva cold or distant. Because they see it's an illusion, they're completely freed up to love, play, and help the world with this inexhaustible, joyful, and totally burnout-free energy. It's such a profound shift from desperate clinging to joyous participation. As we wrap up this explainer on the Mahaprajna Paramita Sastra, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. If ultimate peace requires letting go of all concepts, even your tightly held ideas of peace and goodness, what is the first thing you need to unlearn today? Think about that and take that boundless energy into your week.